And we're back.
We're back.
Because every week,
I don't
without
know.
fail.
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
I'm waiting for the day when we miss it.
Every week without fail.
It's been like, what, 2 years and like 2 months?
Yeah.
About. Actually, it's almost been... I know it's been 2 months.
2 months.
Yeah. 2 years and 2 months.
Okay.
We're into year 3.
Fine. Anyways, just cue the intro. Hello, guys. Two Latin Brothers podcast, also known as T.L.B.P. I'm Victor.
And I'm Adrian.
And we're back again with another not vlog.
Because that's the new
intro.
Stop entering like that.
No,
Please
it's
stop
the new intro.
I'm going to start chopping it out.
Are you trying to hurt me?
I'm the editor. I can do that.
You can't be doing that to me.
I can chop out whatever I want.
You have too much power over this.
Yeah, well, that's the power of the editor.
I am a co-host.
I'm going to be honest with you. It's not the guy who does the videos. It's the editor who does everything. He's the guy who makes the video great.
That's true.
Unless it's like one single video that's like unedited. There's like no chops in it.
That's disgusting.
That's how you know.
You gotta have like a cut into like...
you gotta have those good transitions.
Exactly.
You don't have those.
Yeah. Anyways, we've brought a guest onto the podcast because, it's that week. 1 week on, 1 week off. As we've been trying to do since the beginning of the year.
I can't believe we're actually back to this. Because last year was so...
It was so tough to do this.
It's like all over the place. There was no coordination.
We lost all structure. We didn't know what platform to do this on.
The pandemic just threw us... Anyway, let's get to the guest.
Yeah. So we brought a guest, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm the homeboy, Giselle. We go way back. It's just good times,
She goes way back.
I like how she says way back.
Way back.
First off, I'm a homeboy. Oh my god.
Second, how far back was this? No,
how long has it been that we've known each other?
I don't know. That's like a really good question.
Because I was like,
I want to say,
because I was like your age when we met. Because I was working at the camp at the time. So I was like 16, 17.
No, you knew her before that.
No, that's when we met. That's around the time when we met.
No, we knew her before then.
Was it before then?
It was before then. I know as a fact. So almost certainty.
Okay,
that we knew her before.
So let's say, okay, so do you remember how old you were when we met?
No, to be honest, it's just, no, I don't.
It's just Victor's always been there and Adrian's always been there.
Yeah.
We're just those guys that randomly appear out of nowhere and then vanish every so often. Like, we just reappear and disappear.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, yo, I gotta get on your social media, man. Like, you're like a dead person to me. Like, I'll see you and then I can go years without seeing you and then you'll just reappear somehow.
See, people keep telling me I should start posting more of me on my Instagram because they're just like, I miss your face. And I'm just like, I don't miss yours, but that's fine. I'm like, it's okay. I'm like, this could be a totally one-sided relationship, but that's fine. It's okay. It's fine.
I mean, I guess.
No, see, like for the last few guests that we've had that are my friends, they're just like, I don't remember how I met you. You just been there. And I'm just like, I've just been there. And they're just like, yep, been there. I'm like, I think I remember how I met you. And then I don't.
Well, like,
it's great.
Yeah. Well, I know. Okay. So if it was before, so it's been like 10 years then.
I want to say 7 or 8.
Mm-hmm.
Because like,
I want to say 7. I don't want to say 10. 10 feels like a stretch, That's like, because then you can say it's been a decade, and then that makes me feel old when I'm in my prime of youth.
No, because then that makes you feel like you haven't been a good enough friend because you barely know her.
I blame you.
It's not my fault. I'm innocent. I got busy with life.
I reached out 2 weeks ago.
Look, I got busy with life.
When the idea came to us.
Look,
but then I just got so lost.
Oh,
So I think we should preface how we met for starters.
I don't remember.
Neither do I. I just remember like the setting. That's it.
Okay, so
I don't remember how it happened. I
have like a vivid image, but that's about it. Yeah.
Okay, so I can recall this very well.
Okay.
For some reason. I don't know why.
Very impactful moment.
Very impactful.
Changed your life forever.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. I was... everything changed.
Everything changed.
Never the same again.
Okay.
All right, so I remember we were... okay, so to preface, both our dads started playing on this, like... in the same soccer league, and they were both on the same team.
You could have just said they both played on the same team.
Well, yeah, but like I'm trying to
whole like intricate thing. You're trying to mess them up.
I'm trying to make Okay, so
Yeah.
our father had been part of the team for many, many years prior to I mean, for a very long time. And then her dad just became like the newcomer that year. I remember that because it was like everyone's like, "Hey, look!" And then I remember my mom instantly went, "Oh, she has a little kid. She has a little baby because of your little brother." And I remember my mom and my sister were like trying to convince themselves to go say hi so they could say hi to your brother because they wanted to carry. Because at the time he was like 2 or like. He was still like very little, and they were like trying to convince themselves to go say hi so they could pick up the child. But it was like this. It's a very Latin thing. If you don't understand, like
we all have baby fever
all the time.
all the time. It's
All the
on
time.
always.
all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but we're all like,
It just works that way.
It's a problem. Anyway, so and it freaks out all the non-Latinos.
Yeah. We're just like, oh my gosh, your baby's so cute, and they're just
No,
like, this is my
No,
child.
but especially when you're like, especially when you're a guy though. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Like I'll tell a story later, but anyway. So there's this. So that's how like that was like the first interaction. I remember like we met your mom, we met you, your brother, and then your other.
we
brother.
went down the line.
We went down the line, and then I remember there was like where the soccer field was behind it. There was like this park,
Mhm.
and then me and my brother were like, let's go to the park. And then I remember your mom came with you guys to the park too, because you guys saw that we left. Everybody was just going to the park, and there was another kid there. There were like 3 other kids there as well. And then somehow, as like the weeks progressed, every parent just started assuming that I would watch over their children, like every week for like
I
on
remember
like
that.
Friday when the games would happen. Every parent was just like, "Oh, Adrian's okay. You can go." Like, what?
Is he going? No, all of you can go.
Yeah, then it was like, okay, you can go. And I was like, well, all right then, fine. I should start charging. Like, what is
I'm babysitting your child while you guys watch a game.
And then we started like we'd play Sandman, we play tag. Like
Sandman was the big one, I think.
yeah, it became like this like weekly ritual thing that we did every week where we would just go
Every
and play.
Friday we just go and play.
I mean during the summer, and then we just disappear like in the winter time.
We're like all contact to
Yeah.
just be like, I don't know if this
Like
person's still alive
no
right now.
contact, no nothing. And then the next summer we do it all over again.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And this went on for like 4 or 5 years, I'd say, something like that.
Yeah.
And then I started university or college, and then I just disappeared. I
Yeah.
just vanished because of my classes. I had a class right like at like I think like 6:30, right when the games would start, so I could not show up. And I remember one day my class got canceled, and I showed up, and all of you guys were like, "Oh my, it's been so long. Where have you been?"
All were mind blown.
that was like 5 years ago. So like I remember that because that was really funny because I remember I came back and your little brother was like, "It's you." And I was like, "I have a name."
he like knew your face but didn't know you.
Yeah, just totally baffled by like I've seen this face before, but where? Yeah, and then I remember so that's how we met, and that was like the progression. Were y'all on board with the story? Did I miss any details?
Well, you
No,
see, I don't remember.
I can't like say that it's correct or like wrong. Like I can't say anything about it because I know like nothing.
Exactly.
I know nothing.
Say absolutely
Your
nothing.
I
generation
can't say,
is like
oh
the
yeah, I remember because I don't. So
Yeah.
Your generation is the worst at remembering stuff.
Okay, look, we have a low attention span because we have high-speed internet.
That's not my fault. You guys are so impatient.
I'm writing this whole paper on generations, and your generation, which has almost no generation, is really messed up.
My generation, it's because I'm that. Let me explain this. I'm the middle of generations. So I'm between millennial and Generation Z, which is what you guys are. I'm like this awkward, stuck in the middle. Like, I don't know what's going on.
He has no generation.
Okay.
He's a nobody.
The United Nations named us. We're called Zennials. You know, we're our own thing. We're a 1 year like stock.
That's still on debate, even if they claim it.
Okay,
so.
look. So here's the so like I can identify with millennial and I can identify with you guys.
So
I'm
just
like,
take away the M, add a Z, and you got a whole new generation.
but the thing is like I'm stuck in between both parties. Like
You're a gap.
I'm not a full millennial,
You're a
and I'm
gap.
not like a full Generation Z. Because the thing is like I grew up on all that 90s stuff, but then all of a sudden in the
I
middle,
grew up knowing all the 90s stuff.
Well, yeah, no, but I mean, like you were in reruns. I was like watching it live. You know,
I mean, I guess
this is what's going on, right? And then all of a sudden, in the early 2000s, someone flicked a switch, and then I started watching all the TV stuff you guys started watching when you guys were born, and all like
It's a great switch, wasn't it?
all the, I mean, it kind of fell out the window. Like, let's be real, Pokemon was never the same again. I mean, old episodes of
Pokemon was still alive for like until like 2006.
Look, I'm gonna be honest. The first episodes of Pokemon are where it's at. Anything after that is
just kind of.
It's just like, I feel like, what are we even doing anymore?
I was so surprised that Bakugan's still going.
That's still going?
That's still going.
It is.
Yeah, I was just so mind blown. I was like scrolling through the channels. I'm like, oh, here's all the kids' channels, and I'm like, Bakugan. I'm like, in high definition. I'm like, this is a thing. I was just so mind blown.
For those who don't know, we still have cable at home. I don't know why.
We don't have cable.
We have cable.
We don't have cable.
What is it?
It's 5.
Okay, so we're subscribed to Bell. Now the whole world knows.
Well, it's because cable means like you got a dish, you know.
I mean, I get no. That's a satellite.
Okay, fine. You don't got satellite.
We don't got satellite.
We don't got satellite.
I ain't about that satellite.
But like,
but
it's different.
Okay, so
Whatever.
anyway,
Doesn't matter.
it goes in through the same port. It's the same cable that goes into the TV.
Fine, we got cable.
I'm not gonna get into this. It's still coax.
Okay, fine.
Anyway,
We got cable.
let me get to the point. So we still have cable in parentheses. Some people don't appreciate. Anyway, so we still have cable, so it's really funny because like we'll be like on that Netflix or like that Disney Plus grind, then all of a sudden so I'll be like, let's watch a live TV and hit play.
And then I'm like, commercials, skip them all.
No, that's like commercials. And we're like, what is? People used to watch commercials more than the show. Like, what is this?
I know, like a good 15 minutes worth like one episode you'd spend just to watch like one episode of Friends.
It's crazy. Anyway, the future is here, ladies and gentlemen. In case you didn't know, just get like
where you can
Netflix.
just go on YouTube, or you could just go on Netflix, or you could just go on Disney Plus, or you could just go on Amazon Prime, or you could just go to like any other service.
What is it?
No demand.
Hulu.
Yeah, you got Hulu,
Crave.
you got Crave.
Crackle.
Crackle.
What's the other one?
I think Crackle actually shut down.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I don't know.
There's too many. I can't keep up anymore.
And people are trying to come out with like new ones. And I'm like, what are you trying to do?
What is it? Paramount is making their own?
Why?
Because they can.
But why?
Everybody wants this.
Like everybody was so hurt when Disney Plus
what is it? Like
came out because all the Disney movies from Netflix.
So here's the thing: the reason Paramount is making one is because they own Nickelodeon.
Nickelodeon.
Nickelodeon. I can't speak. Okay.
Nickelodeon.
So they want their own streaming service to throw all this like back catalog on. So we're talking like Zoe 101. We're talking, like iCarly. Victorious.
Very educational, right?
All of this stuff, is going to go on there. But what they're doing is they're also bringing back shows like iCarly is coming back. They're bringing it back. It hasn't even been that long. I think it's been like maybe 6-7 years since iCarly was airing. And they're like, we're going to bring this back.
See, as long as they bring back my favorite character, Gibby, because we all know that's the favorite character.
Yeah.
As long as they bring him back and Spencer,
yeah,
I don't give up.
Do you know who's not coming back?
Who?
Sam.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
She's not coming back because of all the drama that happened with Sam Cat. So she's like, I'm out. I'm not involved. Don't at me.
I mean, Sam had her moments, but then it was just like, But we all loved the moments when Gibby would show up.
That was only like 2 seasons.
I know.
Seasons,
the best seasons of the entire show.
A third of the show.
I could wipe the entire show and just have his clips in a compilation.
It's like they should be happy. It's one of those like, we should have made a spin-off, but we didn't think about that.
No, see, the spin-off wouldn't have worked. I know as a fact it wouldn't have worked. It would have been too much Gibby.
You're gonna have to, you know what? I'm not gonna get into this with you right now. So, how's school been?
Oh my god, I can't even tell you how like scrambled it is. Like honestly, it's so crazy because there's like
are you going to school?
Going to school?
Wait, are you going? You're going to the building?
Yeah.
Oh, so you have to like.
You're living the messed up life right now.
Yeah. First semester I did online, but like I could not pay attention. I couldn't even stay awake. I'd sleep during the classes. So I have to go to school.
That's like my life right now. I'm like half asleep, half awake during my classes. Straight A's, but like half asleep, half awake.
Your classes are so like I feel like they're so easy because like you'll be like talking to me during the I'll be eating breakfast and he'll be sitting across from me in class like, yo, what up? And I'm like, you're in class. You can't be talking to me.
The thing is, like the classes I'm taking, they're really easy classes right now. So like I can like go for like a 15-minute walk, come back and finish work before everybody else. But then again, there's also those students who are actually struggling in the class and they're behind, and I'm like, how are you doing that?
Because they don't do anything.
No, they're like handing in stuff, but they just honestly have low grades.
They just suck at it.
They just okay. I don't want to say that 'cause they're gonna listen to this.
one of that kid's like,
I'm not saying no names, but you know, Jared.
What's that link under his profile? Like, what's that link in bio? What's that about? No, I remember I remember when we would like hang out, we'd try to talk about school, but we'd always avoid it because like there was such a big especially between me and you guys, like the age difference was like fairly big. So like,
I mean, you know a lot about my high school life.
Well, she's like, what? Wait, how old are you again?
17.
Oh, okay, so you guys are the same. Oh, you guys are from the same year? Did you just turn 17?
No, I'm 18 this year.
I'm 18 this year. Okay, what month?
June.
See, she's older.
She's older than you.
See, I knew it.
See?
I knew she was older.
That throws me off now.
Why does that throw you off?
Why did I think she was younger than you by like a year?
I told you she was older than me.
I don't, you know, maybe it's because, okay, here's the thing, okay? So in my head, everybody's still a little kid, except for this one, because he's growing in front of me. But everybody else, like when I see your little brother, like what was like a year ago, we saw him so there's this thing called Pupusa Fest, which is the Salvadorian thing that we do in this area.
There's good food sold. It's basically like a semi-soccer tournament where food is sold and people come from, you know, areas.
All the Latinos get together. Anyway, so we were at Pupusa, and I saw her, like, her younger brother, and I was like, yo, he grew up. He speaks proper sentences now. Like, he can communicate. Because before it was like, you see that? You know, it was
I almost didn't believe it was him. That's how I was surprised I was.
Well, you too. You surprised me too because like you're like way taller now. Because you used to be like,
he used to just carry you, just pick you up.
Yeah, I used to just pick you up. Like I remember I'd give you so many big back rides, and then like now it's like, oh, she's like tall now. That's weird. In my head, I still pictured this little girl
who I could just like literally throw over and just like, you know.
Yeah, like it's like all like my brain is just, I don't know why this is like, and it's really funny because when I was like your guys' age, I was working at a camp and all the kids there were like you guys' age or older at the time. So like we're talking like 12, 11, all those kids, and like now they're teenagers. And like last year, the year before, I ran into a few of the kids because some of them are still friends and they would go to the same school together. And I ran into a bunch of them and they're all taller than me. And they're like, hey, how you been? I'm like, who are you? I don't like recognize you. Also, when did we meet? They're like, yo, you were like my camp counselor. It's like, what? Why are you taller than me? Just like that moment of realization that you all grow up and I stay the same. So sad.
No, you didn't stay the same. You got old.
I've just always been old.
He gets sleep injuries now. He's like, I slept for 20 minutes and my back is broken.
Dude, I'm 23, not 50.
Okay, you'd have to go to 60. I don't start going with the problems until 60.
Look. So here's but for like in that.
See, actually, I like basically threw out my back yesterday. I don't know why I'm talking.
But that's like because like I twisted my arm and like, you know, like when you sleep weird and then like you try to turn over and your arm ends up like on your back and then you fall asleep with your arm under your back. It was like one of those scenarios, and then like my shoulder was like acting up.
I don't know why I just pictured like some weird abstract art piece. I was like, what is
I'm trying to describe this. It's not exactly easy.
Basically, when you lay down and you're basically landed in an awkward position and you
on your arm,
and
and then you pass out.
Yeah.
Right? So like your arm's in like a weird position all night. And
blood flow is all over.
And then you wake up
and
and you're like, why is my shoulder hurt? Like, what's going on? And then you're like, oh, it's because I slept wrong. It's like how people wake up with like a sore neck.
I wake up in the morning sometimes with like cuts. I'm like bleeding. I'm like, was I scratching myself? Did I find a knife somehow? I was just like, oh my God.
Did someone try to kill me?
It's like a bloody murder scene all over my body. I don't know how it happens.
Yeah, I'm not.
I don't even know how to address that. How would you? I don't even know how I just brought this into the conversation. That's embarrassing.
Let's go back to that story about the children.
Yeah, back to the children's story.
What was that story I said I would say or tell? Oh yeah, no, about how all Latinos have baby fever.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if I told the story in the podcast. I don't remember.
If you start it and I remember, say it anyways.
Okay, so actually, I ran into your mom at this place. So I used to work at
You haven't said it.
Okay, I didn't work. I was doing like this co-op / placement / internship. I don't know. Every country has a different word for this, but this is what I was doing. I was placed in like this immigration service center where we help immigrants like integrate life and like get their documentation sorted out and or find jobs.
Yada.
All this stuff. Anyway, so and also with housing. Anyway. So I was there and I was working there because I studied to be a social worker. It's a whole thing. The previous episodes account this like a plethora of times, probably. Anyway, so while I was there, I ran into this Indian couple who had just landed in Canada, and they had like this like 1-year-old baby, like like this baby had been born a year to anything less than a year ago. And when they walked in, they're like, oh, you have to fill out this paperwork. And they didn't even have like a stroller with them to like put the baby down. And the mother's like, I can't, like, I'm like, and I'd walk up to her and I go, here, let me carry the baby for you.
Yeah.
And she just turned and looked at me like, you're just some stranger.
You with my baby.
And then I
right
go,
now.
I'm like, don't worry, I'll sit right next to you the entire time. And she goes, what? I'm like, yeah, and I'll help you out if you need any help with like the paperwork. And she goes, okay. And so she hands me her child, and I go, okay. And then I'm like carrying her baby, and she was just like mind blown by this whole event. Like she could not, but she's like, I guess it's true what they say about Canadians being nice. Here's my child. Like, it was just like this one of those like moments. And then after that, all the like, because there was a lot of ladies who worked there, they were all like, who are you? Like, you're the only guy I know. I'm like, every Latino guy is like this. Like almost all of them. We're all like this.
We all went through like a phase of training of like how to hold a baby, make sure the neck is all stable. Like
this whole thing. I don't know why, but it just kind of like, and they're like, and you know how to carry it? Like, I'm like, what? Am I like incapable? Like, what are you saying right now? But it was like funny because like also like there were a lot of like Middle Eastern ladies who worked there, and there was like 1 or 2 Latinas who also worked there, and they were like, I get this, I vibe with this. But then all like the Middle Eastern ladies, and there was like these 2 French Canadian ladies who were just totally put off by it. They were like, because like culturally, you know, it's like the guy never does that. Like, don't even look at my child kind of vibe, right? So it's like they were just so like perplexed by this. And then I told them how I used to work at a camp with all these little kids, and they're like, oh, so you're like actually trained to do this stuff. You actually know how to be with kids.
You should have been walking around with like a little thing that says certified with children care.
I mean, it was funny, but then they were like, every time a baby would come in, they'd be like, Adrian, there's another baby. Because like they just didn't want to deal with it. Funny. It was like this whole thing. But yeah, that's the story I wanted to tell. Yeah. Have
very intriguing. You haven't told the story before.
I did. I haven't.
You haven't.
I thought I had.
No.
Dude, it's been over 100 episodes of this.
Do you know?
I think I remember every story I've told.
You know how often it is we bring the word baby into the conversation? Almost never.
Okay. You know what? So because of the pandemic and the total lack of structure in your life in the day-to-day, what do you do on your off time because of this pandemic?
That's a really good question. Like, it's just, to be honest, I can't find anything to do with my time. So I sleep or just, music, because I'm a musician. So I usually just spend my time like singing, playing guitar.
Literally, I was doing that.
Subway to occupy my time.
I literally texted you, and he was like playing with the guitar.
Yeah, like, sleep and music. That's it.
That's all you do?
Yeah.
Wow.
Sleep and music.
What a fun
Sounds like
person.
my life, except add school.
What a fun person.
Well, you said in my free time, and I mean, like, school isn't really a free time.
I mean, yeah, that isn't free time.
I mean, I feel like we live more.
I mean, like, my time is, like, spent gaming, music, and I guess working out. That's about
doing
it.
This?
Oh, yeah, doing this, but, like, I consider this
a job.
A job.
It's getting to that point now.
It's getting to that point now.
Where it's like, this is a job.
This is a job. Yeah.
It's frustrating.
No, yeah.
Anyways, so music. So you say you play guitar. See,
yeah.
You guys want so this is how I found out about you and singing and the guitar thing. One day, I was like on Instagram, and you posted for like the first time in like a lifetime, because she don't post on her IG.
I just followed her recently
because this is like a whole thing, And then I'm like, oh, and it's like a clip of you singing at like some party or something. I'm like, oh, she can sing. Oh. What? Like, why was this knowledge never passed on to me? And then I had a whole moment of like, I'm like, I like ran around the house showing everybody, like, remember that girl from like soccer? Remember that girl?
She's like, she
look at how good she is.
She can do stuff.
I was like, look at this. Are you seeing this? I used to play tag with this kid. That'll be, no joke, no lie, that'll be me when like you blow up. I'll be that guy who's like, I used to play tag with that girl.
She'll just post something on Instagram, and one day somebody just finds it, puts it on like their own like singing page. Blows up. Forgets exactly who we are.
She took down the video though.
No, okay. Come on, like, really? Forgets who you are.
Okay, no, doesn't forget who we are, just ignores who we are, and then moves on.
I'm not gonna forget anybody. Like, I'm not.
I mean, if you get hit in the head hard enough, I'm sure.
Bro, why you gotta? I'm not. I'm not about to go. I don't walk around trying to get concussed all the time.
I mean, you could try.
I mean, I don't know anybody who wants to get concussed. Like, I don't see people doing this on the day to day.
I mean, why would you want
unless
to?
you're walking around like in the middle of like the woods in like February or like early January when there's lots of snow and then snow starts falling, you get like concussed like that. But I
mean, that would have to be ice to be effective.
Well, I can't say icicle because that's too graphic.
Oh no, I've been impaled. What do I do now?
I mean, an icicle to the head has been the death of many people.
Please help murder.
Please help murder. I need an adult.
Like snow? I mean, do you hear yourself? It would have to be like some kind of avalanche falling off that tree.
Actually, you can suffocate with snow.
If you're walking and you get hit.
No. I mean, no.
Literally,
if there's if you're in an avalanche, like she's just like staring at us right now, like we're complete idiots. For context, like if you're in an avalanche, like say you go skiing, okay, you're on a hill,
okay,
or like a mountain,
yes,
and then an avalanche proceeds to chase you down the mountain,
okay,
and it hits you,
yes, I'm dead.
You are buried, and you will die of suffocation, not of cold exposure, not of like frostbite.
Suffocation will get you before like any hypothermia.
Exactly, yeah, because there's no oxygen, because your lungs are now trying to suck in like snow. You asked for I gave you gravity.
I mean, you could have gone really far with that, but
I didn't want to go that far.
We could have gone full on restriction.
Okay, here. So that's me cutting you off.
Okay, yeah, okay.
It's me cutting you off.
Okay, now continue, because
So yeah, I know how this works. I've been doing it for 114 weeks now.
Same here.
So all right. What is wrong with you?
What do you mean? What is wrong with me? I'm perfectly fine.
Yeah, no,
okay.
No, you're not.
It's fine.
No, I was gonna ask you something. I forgot.
Okay. So what do you have plans for the future? Are you what studies are you gonna go into?
She just fell asleep inside.
Oh my god, that's a lot. Nah, I'm taking a gap year. I'm gonna work because like I want to like actually work, like actually pay for my education instead of like leeching off my parents because like I don't run with that. But like yeah, and then after that I'm going into like police foundations or business. I'm not sure yet.
I respect that.
Cool. Maybe like that's cool. Like in my case, I didn't have any money to my name when I graduated high school, so I just jumped on. I mean, I had a job. He had a job, but like it wasn't a lot of money. I'm gonna be honest. Like in the grand scheme of things, it's not a lot of money. So I just jumped on that loan thing, and
paying it off is what it's.
I mean, that's really what it's about at this point. Just jump on that loan, and you go, I'm okay. And then you realize that like you have some money left over and you're like, hey, I can go out with my friends with this. What is that $300 in my bank account left over? What is it? What?
Like I paid my textbooks, I paid my tuition, $300 left over.
$300 left over. I'm like, yo guys, let's go get some food. And they'll be like, well, on me guys. All right, let's go.
They won't doubt you if you say you're paying.
Yeah, no one doubts. We hit up at like a pizza place or like we go for like some McDonald's. So,
No, why didn't you say sushi? I was expecting you to say sushi.
No, because that was reserved for exclusive friends. Because not everybody likes sushi, bro.
Okay, I love sushi.
I'm one of them. I like sushi.
You don't like sushi?
I don't like sushi.
I was about to say.
This friendship stand. I'm just joking.
I was about to say I don't even know her favorite color, but now I don't think I care.
What is your favorite color?
Like a lavender.
I was gonna say some type of purple.
Yeah.
Lavender or lime green. Those are like goated colors.
Lime green.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess,
I like lime green.
I guess those match well together. I don't know what else to say about color. I'm not an artist.
I mean, his favorite color is black, so.
No. We went over
green.
We went over this the other day.
His favorite shade is black. His favorite color is green, like a dark green. It's called, what's it called?
Sherlock.
Yeah, Sherlock.
I have a card somewhere for like the color.
We literally walked into like a Canadian Tire, and he like went through all the painting.
For those who
colors.
don't know what a Canadian Tire is, for our American audience, that is like a Home Depot.
Okay, so he walked into the store, and he basically went to the paint section and looked for the little like card with like his exact favorite color.
And now I walk around with it. Whenever someone's like, "What's your favorite color?" I just pull out my card. Like, this is it. This is the color.
My favorite color is just a royal blue.
Just look at this. This is the color.
Can't go wrong. It's dark enough to go with like any other color.
You know how profound "what's your favorite color" question is? Because you have to be comfortable enough to have a conversation with somebody. Like, cause it's
like literally like my third or second question, like any conversation.
I never.
I can say I know the person. Clearly, I do not know you. I mean, like, let's be real here. I know her, but I don't know her.
Yeah.
That's like it's an odd. It
odd. Hurts to say because I know you, but I don't.
It's like I know your name and like we get along when we talk and like generally good vibes.
And
all
there's
around,
history.
but like whenever like I don't know what to like how do I say?
I mean, I don't know you.
Am I your
outside of soccer life?
Pretty much.
Also, are you still playing soccer?
No, I quit like 3 years ago.
Oh wow, so sad.
I quit last year.
It's that Latino thing, you know. Every parent gets every Latino parent tries to get one of their kids in the soccer, and then you just go like, yeah, this ain't for me.
I mean, like, I didn't quit. It's more like COVID struck, but I like chose not to go into the next like season because people sweating all over the place. Fluids everywhere. Not about getting COVID right now.
And then you remember that you're a teenager.
Yeah, and then I remembered I'm a teenager, so socializing is my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, not for me. It was like, I did quit because like I decided to like pursue music like more seriously, and then I decided I was like, because I get like really restless, like I can't go like even 2 days without exercise, so I took up martial arts like instead of soccer. So there's that.
Okay, so now we know not to mess with her. That's what we just learned right now.
I mean, if I'm really pissed off, she's still gonna.
What happened to that cute little girl I met at soccer? Not this fierce warrior.
Just walking down the street, some guy pisses her off. We just see her totally beat the out of him, and we're just like, "Is that who we came to see just now?"
Years later, I'm like, I just wanted to get a cup of coffee. That's all I was asking.
I mean, if she wants to get into policing. Police foundations. She's gonna get training anyways.
Okay, so I have this great story about that actually. So when I was, it just occurred to me.
You said the story before.
Have I?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna tell it again. She hasn't heard it.
He hasn't even started, and I already know what story it is.
Okay, she hasn't heard it. Okay, but I'm gonna tell the story. Okay.
Okay.
So when I was in all these like we had like this workshop at the school where all these people came in to like give you an idea of what you could study in the future and all this jazz. Anyway, so there was this really tall guy. Like he was you know when you're so tall, like you have to hunch to walk through a door. That's how tall he was. Like he was like borderline giant kind of guy. And I remember that this cop came into like the school in the gym and she's like talking to us about this stuff. She's like, yeah, we get taught how to, take down anybody. And this guy laughs because she was like she was shorter than me. So she was like 5'4" or 5'3". Like she was super short. And this guy was like 6'11" or something like that. He was like huge. And I remember him laughing at her. He's like, there's no way you can take me down. She's like, want to bet? And he goes, yeah, sure. And she had like these mats out and she, no joke, like just threw him on the mat. Like he was like on the floor.
He was out.
She like threw him on the floor and then proceeded to handcuff him. And I was like, oh my, you machine.
I mean, it gets grinded into you.
Oh yeah, but like it was just so funny to see like this tiny little person take down this giant. Like I remember he was so tall. Like I remember when we would play basketball in gym class, he would literally stand by the net and like you'd pass it to him and he would literally just stretch out his arm and like throw the ball.
That's tall.
Like that's how tall he was.
That's tall.
That's how tall he was.
That's tall.
So like
I'd be a little intimidated, but like, there's areas just, like, you can attack his arm. There's no return from.
Like it was so funny, but to see him like get his ass whooped like that, it was just like
that's borderline embarrassing for him. His whole like high school status just went down the drain.
Well, I mean, she was a trained cop. Like it's not like it was like some random teenager who did it, right? Like,
I mean, I guess
like.
But you know how teenagers are.
I get, but that was like what? That was like 8 years ago.
For all you know, he's real jacked right now and still doesn't know how to self-defend.
I don't even know what he does. I haven't seen him in years. He could have vanished for all.
No, I love how people who like work out and they get really jacked up, they think that they can beat up anybody, and just because you trained to be real jacked doesn't mean you can kick this person.
I love what is it? Bodybuilders are the greatest people to race with because they've got no cardio.
Oh yeah,
no
cardio at all.
I had a friend like that in college. He was like super jacked. And I remember this one time the elevator wasn't working in the building and we were like super late. We had like 3 minutes. I'm like, we're just going to have to take the stairs. And he goes, yeah, okay, no worries. He's like, yeah, no worries. I got this. and I take off running, and I get to the top because it was like on the 4th floor. I get to the 4th floor, and he's like behind me, like heaving, like having a heart attack. He's like, "How are you not tired?" And I was like, "Dude, I have asthma. Calm down." And he was just like, "How? What?" I'm like, "Dude, you gotta do some cardio."
You know, get on the treadmill every once in a while.
But he was
Do
like,
some stairs. Like, do something.
It was so funny to see him like just dying. He could not breathe for like his life. And then I remember we got into class and he was still like having a hard time. Teacher's like, "I know this is invigorating material, but like calm down."
Yeah. See, the thing is, like, I love racing people taller than me. Cause I'm like pretty short. So like when somebody tall like challenges me to a race, I'm all down for it. Cause you know that soccer experience really gives you a little edge. Also, like
I like how those like I don't know why, but like all those like things are so convertible like to day-to-day life. I missed the bus, take off running for lunch. Everybody's like, "What? How are you
so fast?
How did you learn how to run?" Like it's like, you know, soccer growing up, just all that like sprinting,
Yeah,
just going for a ball.
My gym teacher was always like, "Join rugby, you're fast and you're strong." And I'm just like, "No, thank you." He put me on the list for rugby. And I told him I didn't want to do rugby. He's like, "Why weren't you there Thursday?" And I'm like, "Sir, I never signed up." He's like, "You're right here on the list." He's like, "I put it on there last week." I'm like, "You put it on there last week?" I'm like, "What?" And he's just like, "Yeah, so next week Thursday." I'm like, "I just said I don't want to do rugby." And he's just like, "Yep."
So sidetracking now, because you know we got a sidetrack here.
Yeah, okay.
I like to sidetrack.
Did you have a question?
Yeah, I just thought of something else.
Okay, go.
What's the kind of genre of music you listen to?
Oh, I listen to like anything really. Just like not metal because I don't like being like screamed at. I listen to like obviously Latin.
Obviously.
I mean, that's like, it's like in our
Latin.
blood to love that, you know?
Canadians are jumping in on it now. I love like turning on the radio and all of a sudden like you'll hear like Spanish and you'll be like, it's not even like the English version. It's like it's just straight up Spanish.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing?
I literally go on the radio stations now just to look for Spanish music. I'm like, there's some Canadian station here.
Somebody's listening to my music.
Yeah.
So it's just okay. So anything.
Do you have a preference of genre?
R&B.
So like Rihanna, Beyonce.
So good music.
What's that other one? What's her name? Her.
Yeah.
Her, oh yeah, top.
I'm not gonna lie.
artist.
There was like I went through when she first came out. I was like so obsessed, and then like I'm like I gotta stop. Like I gotta stop. Like
I went through like a whole phase where I listened to like every song.
I can be only so obsessed for so long. I'm like, okay, so I don't know if you know. I'm sure you know this. We're both musicians as well.
Mhm.
I'm sure we talked about this at some point.
I mean, like, if she could see the room right now, I'm sure she could tell it was a musician's room. It's like literally there's one guitar on my bed, and then there's an electric guitar, and then there's like a classical guitar, and then there's just like a keyboard right there, and then there's another guitar on the floor, actually.
It's getting at it.
And then right beside me, to my left, there's an alto saxophone, and then underneath this bed, I think there's a trumpet, and then in that closet, there's another.
It's in the closet. There's two trumpets.
Both trumpets are in the closet.
But under this bed, there's another electric guitar.
Oh, underneath this. Yo, man.
Why are there so many guitars? Anyway.
Yeah.
You can never have too many guitars, honestly. Like all of them have just such different sounds. I have 3 different ones here: an acoustic, a classical, and electric. And like it's just a whole. It just brings a whole different dimension to like everything.
Like, it's a different tone.
Yeah, it is.
And that's what I appreciate. Like, have you ever played a fretless guitar?
No.
You need to play a fretless guitar. It's such an experience.
It's an advantage. When I was in high school, we had like a dedicated guitar class, and our teacher had one singular fretless. I don't know if it's still there. Is it still there?
It's not there.
Oh, it's not there. So it was actually his.
Yeah, he took that thing home.
A fretless guitar. I remember he had like this classical electric acoustic / electrical guitar that I remember when he bought it, he like brought it to class and he's like, "Guys, this is my baby. This is this is it. This is her." And we all looked at him like, okay, it's like, it had it shipped custom, you know, it's custom. See this woodwork here? This little art right here? It's custom. And he was like, it was like seeing a little kid like on Christmas morning unwrapping a gift. That's how hyped he was.
That's how it is though. When you get like your new, it's a new instrument. It's just like, oh, you know, you work so hard for it, and then you finally get it. It's gorgeous.
It's like
you don't even want to touch it.
It enriches the life.
You're like, can I just hang this up somewhere and we can admire it for hours on end?
Yeah.
I remember I was like that with my guitar too. When I got my electric, I saved up like because I had a quinceañera. And again, for all of you guys that don't know, a quinceañera is like a Latin thing. When you turn 15, it's like a huge deal.
Which I wasn't invited to. I'm still kind of hurt about that.
Again, no communication. You guys just disappear.
I know. It's not on me. I mean, I admit.
Yeah.
That's on me. Actually, I ran into your. Actually, there was like a good.
Excuse me? Are you telling me I could have had an invitation because you saw her mother?
Okay, no. This was like way after. This was like, actually, no, this was before that. So you were like 14. Your mom went back to school, and I ran into her at the college. Like I was at college, and she was there, and we're like, hey, and she's like, hey, I'm taking this from. I'm like, you're here, and it was like so. Like we like sat down, we started talking, and I was like with my group of friends. I just totally ditched them and started talking to her, and then we start talking in Spanish, and then a friend of mine, he's like Asian, and he turns around and he looks at me. He goes, bro, why didn't you tell us you spoke Spanish? And I, dude, why didn't you tell me you spoke Spanish? I'm like, how did you know that was Spanish? He's like, dude, I seen TV. Like, I've seen episodes of Modern Family. Let's be real. I was like, that's not.
It's like, bro, you don't think I had to babysit children and watch Dora?
Yo, in France though, Dora teaches English to the kids.
Yeah, in Spain too.
Imagine that, some little Latina from Mexico teaching English to the children.
That makes should have been a little white girl.
Yeah, but that changes the whole aesthetic of Dora.
Instead of Dora, just Catherine.
Such a white old thing.
or like Sharon or something like that. You know, just totally change it on them.
Why would you do this?
It's like, hey, I'm Sharon instead of hi, I'm Dora. You know,
but it rolls better off the tongue.
You don't think Sharon rolls off?
I don't know anybody with that name.
I know one person with that name, and I'm not gonna bring them on the podcast. Not PG at all.
I like how you just called them out.
They know who they are.
What was I gonna say? We were talking about music, and then we just got totally sidetracked.
Well, we know her. We know she likes guitar.
Yeah.
Do you play piano?
Yes, I do.
See, I just knew it. Almost every guitar player touches the piano every once in a while.
You want to know what's funny? I can't do the piano. I can do everything else. Just can't do piano. Literally everything else except for the piano.
I can do everything else. I can actually say that. Just everything else.
I don't know, man. Go get a name it. Go get a clarinet. I can't play B flat.
I can play the B flat.
No way.
I can.
I know you can.
I've played every instrument in the band.
Yo, go get me a tuba. I'm gonna show you how it's done.
I literally brought home the tuba. You literally saw me bring it.
Let's do the French horn instead.
I'd rather the French horn, but I can do it.
No, man, I know you can't.
No, I can do French horn.
See, this is the problem with us.
We're so competitive. Oh my gosh, I can do French horn. Just hit me.
So look at this. So like, it's always so funny because like he'll be like, okay, so we have a whole episode where we talk about this, but he'll be like on the piano figuring something out, and he'll be like playing, and he'll be like, oh, this sounds so good.
My 1 week.
And I'll come down because we share a room together, and I'll like walk into the room and I'll sit down and be like, where have I heard that before? I'll open up my laptop, I'll jump on a YouTube, hit play, and be like, I knew I heard this somewhere. You'd be like, no.
Because like, see, I just get moments where I just want to sit down and start writing. But the problem is I start writing music I've never heard before.
It's already been written.
It's already been written. I'm like, I've never even heard this song before. Where are you finding this stuff?
Yeah.
So annoying.
Yes. You're lucky you have access.
See, if I was born like 20 years ago, I would have been world renowned.
No, now it'd be longer than that. More like 30 years ago.
Okay, if I was born, make me a 60-year-old dude. I would be filthy rich right now.
I'm just saying, like, it's just the way it goes. Like, but I mean,
I've written some original stuff. I'm just keeping that on the back burner for one day. You just pull it out magically.
Yeah, we're waiting for that back burner to kick in.
No,
I'm waiting for that back burner to kick in.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
She's just like, there's a back burner.
There's like 4 of them.
I know, but songwriting is challenging. Like, if you don't understand music theory properly, you're just kind of going at it blindly.
Yeah,
and and unless of course you're the Beatles, maybe you'll master that.
Okay, the Beatles were those guys.
I know
it was in them. Like it was in them to
the Beatles or the Guns N' Roses. Guns N' Roses. They wrote like so many other songs on their way to like tour while touring. Like it would just come to them, and I'm like, how?
I always think of Sia, who all of her songs, like what is it? Like she wrote the song Diamonds for Rihanna. Rihanna sings the song, but she wrote that song in 5 minutes. Like, who are you?
Like she wrote down the lyrics and the composition was in her head.
Like who are you? What is it? Same thing with like everybody knows that song. What's that song? That really famous Alicia Keys song. What's it called?
Which one?
Falling?
What?
Falling?
No, what's the other one? The one everybody sings.
If I Ain't Got You.
Yeah, I Ain't Got You. That's the one. Okay, apparently she wrote that on a plane ride 10 minutes before she got off the plane.
It's just a stroke of genius that you get. And it happens to me all the time. I'll be like walking my dog, or I'll be like in the shower, and all of a sudden like a melody pops into my head with like lyrics, and then once I get out and I'm like, I'll try to write it down, and just I forget everything. It's just that stroke of genius that you have, where you like you need a pen and a pencil in that exact moment, but it. Just
I need to get like laminated markers.
You gotta start.
I need to get like a laminated paper in the shower.
You know what you gotta do. You gotta have your voice notes open all the time. That's just what you gotta do. So you can just sing it or hum it and get in that way.
I have like
what is it? That's what
60. I have like 60 tracks of just me humming.
What is it? That's what Will Smith's son does. Jaden Smith. Apparently that's what he does. He walks around with like his phone in hand, already open, and voice record all day long. So when something comes to him, he'll just be like record and start like going off. He'll just pop off. And I'll be like, that's the way. That's how musicians. That's like the modern musician right there. Unless of course you're Juice WRLD, who was just like freestyling everything.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody Juice WRLD.
Why you got me pressed now?
Well, no, it's good. I mean, but like the stories of him are, and like also those YouTube videos of him like rapping for like an hour straight. Like I wish.
Yeah.
Like who you at, bro? His flows were so good though.
I know.
Anyway,
some people, I'm telling you, you just have to have that little spark, you know, and that's
okay. So
that's what sends you.
So listen to this. So there's this song I was working on for a while, and like back in June of like last year, and I finished, and then I was like working on like this shaker, on this like hi-hat, and then I played it for my brother, and he goes, I'm like, I just spent like 3 hours tweaking the sound of the hi-hat, and my brother goes, why don't you just use a shaker, because it literally sounds like a shaker now.
He's like, I put like all this little modulation, and he's just like, I tune filed it like down here, and I'm like, literally, it just sounds like a shaker. I'm like, look, here's the sound. You could have literally used this, and he's just like,
3 hours of my life just gone, I'll never get those back. It's just I enter like this like
deep mode phase.
It's like euphoric. I go so deep in because like I'm super like critical of sound to the point where like everything else around me just dies. Like once I go
I could have been like murdered in front of him.
Like I'll even forget to eat. Like I can go for hours on end. Like I vanish. I lose myself. So like when that happens, typically what ends up happening is like I'll be in there so long, and then when I'll walk away, I'll be like, and then someone like him will point out, you just wasted like 6 hours for no reason, and I'll be like, yeah, okay, I see. Like
you're like you have a point. Yeah, okay.
I had a triangle.
So much time can go by so quickly.
Yeah.
Like just by like focusing on like one little thing. I remember like in school, like I remember like a whole hour went by because like we have like, they're bad mics. They're like long range mics. And we were like preparing for a show, and we had to do a sound check. And I'm like really picky about like the reverb, the echo, like everything. Like you have to like everything, like the acoustic when like the gym fills up, you know, like there's people, the acoustics change, like everything. So I remember I was in there for an hour, and like the MCs were there, and they're students because, you know, they're learning. Yeah. So they're tweaking the sound, and I'm like, no, this doesn't sound right. I'll sing a little bit. No, this doesn't sound right. And it was up to the point where they got so frustrated that they did not want to work with me. They're like, no, like you're so picky. I can't, like, they just couldn't wrap their heads around why I was so picky about like why I wanted my voice to sound like that good. Like the music teacher had to literally step in, and he was like, no, I got this. And he literally tweaked everything. I went to the back of the room, and I was like, okay, there's no feedback, nothing. The day of the show, literally the sound was perfect. Like, nobody could touch my mic. Nobody can touch like the soundboard where it was, like nothing. And I was like, yes, this is where it's at.
Yeah. What is it like?
Insane.
The problem is just like trying to convey what you hear in your head to another person, because you hear it in your head. Like
what you just described, I felt so relatable.
Like no, like because the thing is just like oftentimes my dad will be like, I'll be talking to my dad about music, and I'll be like, and he'll be like, I got no idea what you're saying. And I'm like, how do I convey sound to you?
It takes another musician to like understand another musician.
Yeah, but the other thing too is like, I don't have a good singing voice. Like my singing voice is like,
it's like average.
It's super mediocre, to be honest with you. He says average, but it's below. He's being nice.
You just need I'm being nice.
Super mediocre.
Nice.
Like let's.
I'm being nice, but literally, like if you just did little vocal tips, I could show you.
Anyway, let me get to the point. Let me get to the point. So I can't sing. Okay. So I can do everything else. I just can't sing. So here's the problem.
Except piano. And
I know how it works. Okay. I don't practice.
Every student is taught like theory on piano.
I know how the piano works.
You know how it works.
General gist
Everybody
of it.
knows.
I know how to put my hands
everything.
on the thing. I just don't do the thing.
Could you build me a piano? I'm just kidding.
I know how it works. I mean, I got the general I have it all in here. I just don't have it here. Okay.
it all ties back to everything. I remember I used to tune my guitar with my piano because I never had a tuner.
I used to do that, and then I invested in a tuner to do it faster. And now I'm tuning my ear.
That's the trick.
Because I did it by piano, now I can by ear. I've been tuning by ear for like years now. But like, yeah.
It's really funny. Like we'll be like watching like American Idol or what is it like Britain America's Got Talent or Britain's Got Talent or like all these like talent shows where someone will show up with like a guitar. And I'll be like, "Out of tune, or is that just me?" And he'll be like,
"It's the bass string."
It's like it sounds kind of out of tune. And then as soon as the performance is over, the judge will be, "Your guitar's a little out of tune." You're like, "I knew it. I got you." But it's like it's so funny. Like those.
No, I love those moments where like you see this more in American Idol. Where like if the guitar's out of tune, one of them will get up and tune your guitar for you. They're just like, it's wrong.
They're like, I can't.
They're like, just use our guitar. It's fine.
Just use our guitar, please.
Like, don't do this.
Well, no, it's because like no, because it's like, you know, like when you leave your car, when you're in a car and the driver leaves the keys in the ignition and they leave the door open and it starts beeping, that horrible sound,
the clashing noise.
Yeah, you know why we hate that? It's because it's two notes that are out of tune on purpose to make you annoyed to close the door. It's literally that. But like in music form. Like, I mean, there are certain songs where they use like tuning, like they untune on purpose, but that's like a musical styling.
That's a musical like decision.
Yeah, that was like, some would argue it was a poor decision, but I mean like there's like those keyboards that like you can like modulate the sound. So like you can literally have like halfway between the note while you're playing. Yeah.
And that sounds cool because again, it was a decision and it works within the context of what you're playing.
It depends if they're doing a roll down the piano, right? Like, if they're rolling down the piano, then that makes sense. But other than that, because then the progression sounds cooler. Yeah, but if it's not like that, then like, what are you doing? Just wasting everybody's eardrums on that. Like, I ain't about this. I'm all about that perfect quality. Just play me a G, bro. I don't want to hear a G sharp. I don't want to hear an F sharp.
G sharp?
I don't want to hear an F double flat. I just want to hear a G. Play. Go. You have the floor. Stop screwing with me.
I'm just gonna put like. You're now just a boogie.
Yeah, like I'll be watching like, cause like there's like the award shows too, right? And like the Grammys or like these little like shows here and there where like a whole bunch of artists get together, they're performing or whatever. And me and my dad, cause we're both musicians, we sit on the couch and we're like, did they just go off? Did he just go flat? Did he just hold on? The tempo's off, or hold on, and we'll just literally criticize the whole time. And like I remember this was literally like 2 weeks ago. I forgot what like award show it was. It was like a Latin award show, and like Daddy Yankee.
Latin Grammys?
No, it was another one. I forgot what it was. But Daddy Yankee and Mark Anthony were performing, and we're like, something's off.
Oh,
and
that
we
was
were like
criticizing. Yeah.
I think that's what it was.
Yeah, we
were criticizing too.
Yeah, we're just there criticizing. We're like, okay, something's off. And literally, my mom and my brothers were like, shut up. We don't understand what you're saying. Let us just enjoy the performance. And we're like, we can't enjoy the performance because something's off.
Yeah. No.
Almost every live performance. I say almost because there's some that like, they nailed it. But like, there's just, with live performances, there's always something that goes wrong. Either one, the microphone, the guy who was in charge screwed up, and like there's too much reverb on the mic and it's overlapsing with like what they're saying. And it gets so annoying.
No, what I don't like is like when the biggest issue they have is like sound and echo. Echo is the worst enemy everywhere because any performing place, like the echo is just, it's going to happen. So countering echo is incredibly hard. But like when you're on, like, especially in award shows, sometimes it doesn't come through and sometimes it does. But what's really funny is like when the echo is messing, like the instrumental is so loud over the voice, the echo of the instrumental is faking you into thinking that they're behind, or that the music is, but like it's tricking your brain into thinking that someone's off, but they're actually all playing in time. But everything else is off because of the echo. And it's just like, what? How did you guys not account for this?
I mean, like, you're literally paid thousands of dollars to do one job. You can't even do.
Who's your sound engineer? He's fired.
Yeah, I remember when I would like perform, because what we do with like downtown, like here, we would what I did, I was in a band with my dad. I was there for a couple years, and we would perform, and the monitors out front, because we didn't have the monitors in our ear, right? Because it's just local band. It's nothing special. Yeah. And there, literally, the band was behind us, and there wasn't a lot of space for the singer. So it would have the monitors there, and literally the band would overlap, and the monitors would be like not on full blast because, obviously feedback and everything, but like we could not hear ourselves at all. So literally the audience would be, what the hell are you doing? Because like we'd plug our ears to, hear ourselves. And like it was horrible.
What is it like? I remember when I was in high school, I was in the school band because I play saxophone. So I was like, I would always be in the band. And like, I got out of a habit of like grabbing the entire score and learning the entire score. So like, I knew everybody's part. And then I remember this one time, our teacher would be like, someone's off. I'm like, it's him. And they'd be like, what? I'm like, he didn't come in at the right. They'd be like, how do you know that?
No, you see, I did that. Like, I didn't ask for the score. It's just that like when people had like their own like sectionals is what we called it. So like they'd spread out into their groups and practice. I'd be like, I know my stuff. You guys, I heard you were a little bit off there. So practice there. And I'd just go like walking around and sit in everybody else's sectionals.
Yeah.
And I'd basically learn their score with them.
Well, I remember this one time I was like playing with, actually, I went back to this, to our old elementary school to play with some students, or I was like volunteering for some, I can't remember why, but I remember there was like this student music teacher there and we were playing this song and all of the kids had just started learning how to play. And I was the only, because I was like, I'm like, yo, I'll play with you guys. I'll play with you guys just to like be in like an extra voice, right? I didn't know how bad they sounded at the time. So I was like, I'll just show up. I'll just come through. And they're like, all right, okay. So I pull out my saxophone, I go. And I was the only one to like, like when there's like a long note and you swell it, especially in like woodwind instruments, you play a long note.
You
and
have
you
like
swell it.
You have almost like a crescendo.
Yeah, you crescendo it, right? Mm-hmm. I was the only one to do that. And there was like 18 of them in the piece. Yeah. So I was doing all of them. And then when it was over, the teacher just looks at me and she goes, are you a student? Because she didn't know I was a volunteer. She's like, are you a student here? And I go, no, I'm a volunteer. And she goes, that makes sense. She's like, I was going to say, you should not be here. Like, go to a music school. Okay, what you doing? Yeah. She's like, you were in time. You were following me. And you played the notes right. Like, what? She's like, and you were reading the music? What?
It's like, you didn't have the little letters on top. Like, that's mind blowing.
Can you read music?
No, I can't. I'm self-taught, like, completely from, like, when I learned guitar at, like, 10, because I got a guitar for my birthday, because I've always wanted to learn. I learned at 10. My dad taught me a few, like, a couple chords, G, D, E, and A, I think it was. Yeah, just, the basic chords. And by the time I took guitar in high school, they were like, okay, here, we're introducing you to score. And I was like, I know nothing about this. And then once it was taught to me, I was like, oh, I've secretly known all about this. Like, the chromatic scale, everything. I was like, okay, I know this. And my teacher would always call me out because when it was time to like learn a new song, he would play it first in front of the class to see what it would sound like. And my memory, I memorized everything just by listening it to one time, just that one time. So I wouldn't read the score. I would just listen to what I remembered and find it on the guitar. And he's like, you're a little cheater. You don't know how to read the score. You remember everything and you can play it perfectly. And I'm like, yeah, that's just, I'm self-taught because like that's how it is. That's literally how I taught myself. I listen and then I copy.
Yeah, I've been getting pretty good at that. My brother will play a song and I'll just pull out my guitar and I'll be like, okay, it's in this key, and then just go from there.
Like I didn't tackle that aspect of it. I tackled the other aspect of that. I would listen to music and then transpose it so I could play it on another instrument. Like there's like any pop song you could think of, I would grab it and then transpose it so I could play it on my saxophone, or like I'd grab like an old classic song and then transpose it so I could play it on my saxophone.
The thing is, like, what I don't like about like transposition is like no matter what you do, the musician in you will change it to make it sound better.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So like you'll transpose it and then you'll be like, it doesn't sound right. It's right, but it's not right. So you'll just be like, I gotta change it.
No, so of course
you'll just start erasing a whole bunch of notes. Like,
oh yeah,
this works.
Yeah.
That's why I just don't bother with transposing. I know how.
Like the very first song I did, which was like way back, was actually ironically was a Justin Bieber song. I know it's very.
Who were you trying to impress?
I wasn't trying to impress anybody. It's just at the time I just really liked the guitar part of that song. It was Yellow Raincoat. If anybody knows that, it's a very it's a very exclusive, like you have to go deep into his archive to find. Anyway, so this song is the song I chose because I really like the guitar part for it, and I'm like, if I can get my sax over this guitar part, it sounds real cool. So that first transposition took me I think anywhere between 6 to 8 hours to do, like the full song. And then after that,
I was about to be like, I'm like, you're so slow.
Let me finish the full song. And that's like tweaking and everything.
Yeah.
Once I was done, I became a machine. Like I did Adele, I did Katy Perry, I did Jason Derulo, even Drake. Like I became a machine. Like I was transposing so much music. And then it got to a point where like, and then I remember one day I jumped on like YouTube and I was like, I wonder if I Google this, like if someone else has done this. And I found this guy on YouTube who was doing this for literally free and throwing them up on the internet.
You're just like, I've been wasting my time.
I'm like, oh my god. Like all this time wasted. Like, what was that really popular song? Our dad likes it too. That I like transpose. Like, yo, what's his name?
Somebody that I used to know.
That song, oh my goodness. Yeah, I did not realize until I transposed that song that it was literally Twinkle Twinkle Little Star.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally like, what is it? Like a parody? Not a parody. I forgot what it's called. There's a word for this.
A cover?
It's kind of like a cover, but not really. There's another word for it. There's a musical term for it. And since you're self-taught, you probably don't know what it is.
Probably not. I mean, like, I probably do, but like not.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
I do.
There's a word for this, but I can't remember what it is.
Oh my gosh. Watch, we're going to end and I'm going to be like, it's...
Anyway, yeah.
I'm really racking my brain here.
It's going to bug me all day. Anyway, so that was that, and it hit me so hard that like I was like, I can't believe this is Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. It's such a big song too. Like it's like this guy popped off on Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. What a guy!
No, see, and like now there's like YouTube channels that literally go into like pop music, and then just like they stole this from this, they stole this from this, and I'm like, it's still new music. In a way.
I love it. Have you seen that? Yeah. Have you seen that guy who found the theory to write Chainsmokers music? There's this guy on YouTube.
That's a secret. We keep that down low.
I don't care. It's got millions of views now. Like this guy breaks down exactly how to write a Chainsmokers song.
Like a hit music
song. Like step by step. Like it is crazy how accurate it is. I'm like, it's why all their songs sound so much the same. They took like this blueprint and then slapped it on every song that they've ever made.
I mean, yeah, you can build that with like, you can build like a formula that works in any key and just change the key and sing in that key.
Yeah.
And just like change like the drums into like a different type of drum, and you got the exact same rhythm and like progression, but just different lyrics. There's a whole, I can't remember who, but there's this one artist who he used the same bass line for like his 10-song album. Like it's the same bass line. But like it's so seamless. Like when one song ends and the other one starts, you think it's the same song because of how like seamless it sounds like one giant song, but they're all different songs, and you're just like,
that's actually kind of sick.
Yeah, it's like the flow is just amazing. I'm like, oh my gosh, I could listen to this on repeat and it would flow.
Well, like, what's it called? Like the group is it named KJR? That made the overture.
Oh yeah, no, it's AKJ. Oh my gosh, I don't know. I don't know if you're this out. Give me a sec. Let me pull this up.
Oh my gosh.
I know this.
Hurry up.
I know this.
Púrate.
It's AJR.
Yeah, so AJR, what they did was, I loved what they did, is they made an album, and then at the end of it, they made an overture with a piece of every single song into one song. And I really recommend to like go listen to the album and then listen to the overture, and you hear everything, and you're just like, oh my gosh, what a genius idea. Just like a compilation of your album in one overture.
In one song, basically.
Yeah, one song.
The album is called The Click by AJR.
Okay.
For those wondering.
Memorize.
And this wasn't actually for you. It was for the audience.
It was for the audience.
Because they're going to be like, at me.
Recommended still. Got it. Locked in.
And anyway, I actually was towards her, but whatever. That's fine.
Why am I the one thinking about the people who listen to this?
I'm thinking about the audience. This is all content for them. Yeah.
You know, thinking of people, you know, it makes me nervous because, like, the way I am, I stutter a lot. So, like, when I think of, like, other people listening to me, it's, like, it's scary.
See, I used to think that.
Wait. It's scary, but yet you were like, I'm so down for this.
Yeah.
See, like I felt that way in the beginning, and then after doing this for like 100 and something days, you get used to it.
It kind of goes away. Like you kind of like it's just like in my case, it's interesting to watch the numbers. Like watching the numbers is like the most fascinating thing to me because like I also get stats on like places from other countries and like all that. Like what is it? We have a fan base in Ireland.
Why and how? No idea. We don't
That's sick.
5% of our audience is from Ireland, and I don't know why. Like I don't don't know anybody who's Irish.
Hey, don't question it. You know, it's just success.
Accept it. Accept it. I accept.
Don't
shout out
question
to
it.
You guys, though.
You know, like it happens for a reason. Like universe provides. You know, just don't question it. It happens.
Tell my brother we need to get like somebody who can tap us into the Indian market, because that's
a market. That's a nice market.
That's a whole planet on its own. You know,
that's a market.
I gotta get in there somehow.
Just like
I can't get into China. That's too
we just
complicated.
gotta infiltrate.
Infiltrate. That's not how that works. All right, I think we should wrap up because we're way over time.
All right. Okay, guys, this has been too long.
Wait.
Yes.
I was gonna say, is there anything else you'd like to say?
Is there anything else you'd like to say?
Is there? No, not really.
No?
I knew it.
Did you have fun?
Yeah, I did actually. You know,
Just
catching
listening
up
to
with you guys is just
Like just rambling.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's literally, see, I like to call it day by day comedy because it's literally about like our lives and you get to hear it on a weekly basis. I mean, if you're listening to us from the beginning, it's day by day.
It's been 2 years, not day by. It's been year by year.
It's been year by year. But like, I like to call it that because it's literally just us rambling about whatever. And if you get a laugh out of it, why not?
What is it? We have this one friend who she was on at the beginning of the year, but she was like, honestly, like I'll listen to you guys, and she's like, it could be literally about anything, but I'll start listening and I'll just get wrapped up in the conversation, and all of a sudden I'll start caring. I'll be like, what? Why would you do that?
Like, well, we've talked about like immortality and what it would be like to be living like in an immortal body,
To like living in another world, to like,
and like things you wouldn't think to care about.
if we had been switched places, like if I was born like last, if he was born second,
Yeah.
if like I like all this, like if we like what would happen if like I lived in a different country, how would we record, how would that go about, like
Also, we have some episodes that are basically business meetings on the podcast. So like you're going through this with us, like literally. But then there's like some stuff we're just like, okay, we can't release this because
be like, we need to talk about this off the podcast.
Yeah.
You got to stop doing this.
Yeah.
It's so fascinating to watch too, because like you guys in the beginning where you're like, okay, like, you know, let's get the intro, and like the way you just have it like down, it's like insane. It's just so cool to watch, you know?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because like we've been doing it
Development.
for like a full year. That's been the same intro. We were gonna change it this year, but like we forgot to contact our music guy who writes our intro beforehand. Like we messaged him like I think like 2 weeks before we were gonna start.
Yeah, he's like, bro.
I got none.
He's like, I got a few samples and stuff like that. It's just like, but he's like, nothing worth like, you know.
Who knows?
Going out
Maybe
there.
next time we'll get her to do our intro.
That's a
Oh,
good idea.
There you go.
that's
You get
not
stuck
bad.
on anything, you can literally come ask either one of us. Simple as
And
that.
I'm literally a text away or a phone
Literally.
call away.
Dang, we're gonna have to tell the news to Nate. poor guy, he's out of a job, and
We weren't even paying. No, the way we help him is because he's on Spotify. So like at the bottom of the description of every single episode, I have his link to like his Spotify. So every single episode has his Spotify linked below it.
Yeah.
And like the same thing for like for everybody. Like, so if you want us to like, oh, let's wrap up actually.
Okay, guys, this is Two Latin Brothers podcast. Everything's always in the description, whether it be up, down, left, or right. Make sure to share with your grandma, share with your grandfather, share with your donkey, share with your goldfish. I don't care who you share it with. Just share with the world. If you would like to tag yourself or give your @ you can do so now.
If you want them to follow you. If not, if you don't remember it, I'll just link it if you want me to.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm like not on the spot right now. Yeah, just link it. I got nothing.
All right, well, link it in the description.
2 weeks in a row, man. 2 weeks in a row. Nobody
weeks in a
knows
row.
their at.
Nobody knows where at, but it's fine. Anyways,
I'm gonna
guys,
do all the homework.
I send it to you. Anyways, we'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
Bye.
Deuces.